My name is Mark Eastman. I'm the Senior Coordinator of Agricultural Outreach at Credit Valley Conservation.
My name is John Gagno and I'm a farmer at Whole Village, which is an eco-village near Caledon, Ontario.
Farming is important because it provides the food, fuel, and fiber that we depend upon. Everyone in society eats, needs clothing for their back, and electricity to power their homes or their vehicles, and agricultural lands provide all of these. Climate change experts are predicting greater occurrence of both flooding and droughts. This amount of uncertainty poses a challenge for the farmers.
Climate change plays a part in our topsoil loss and our biodiversity. We're getting more erratic weather and we're getting more intense storms, which can drain away topsoil and all the nutrients in the soil. So that can be problematic for a farmer growing organically, where you can't add fertilizers. You need all the nutrients and minerals in your soil to stay there.
With increased occurrence of drought, it makes it more difficult to grow a stable supply of food crops on that land, but also hinders the long-term success of the farmlands themselves at growing that food, fuel, and fiber that we need.
We also can get stronger winds that you can blow away some of the topsoil, but also they can destroy crops, and just the strength of the wind can batter crops when you're just transplanting out there. Here at Whole Village, we've been working with Credit Valley Conservation for over a decade. We reached out to them to see what we could be doing to adapt our farm to a changing climate and to restore some of the natural ecosystems that were here in the past.
I work with farmers in the Credit River watershed to help implement best management practices to improve their farm properties and to reduce the likelihood that climate change poses a big risk. The hotter and drier weather associated with climate change threatens the availability of surface water. To help combat this, harvesting rainwater can be a good approach. In behind me, you'll see a barn that has eaves troughs that direct water down the side of the barn into a concrete cistern, which gravity flows to a small berry patch. This helps reduce the amount of water we have to take from our springs, our streams, and our ponds. Behind me, you'll see a row of trees. This row of trees is actually a windbreak, and it's purposely planted to reduce the amount of wind blowing across the farm field. When we do that, we actually prevent moisture from leaving the soil. The more we can keep moisture in the land and in the soil, the better prepared we are for a changing climate. Behind me, you will see a cover crop of buckwheat that's been planted to help suppress weeds. And before the time comes to plant a crop that you want to harvest in this field, it's plowed down or tilled into the soil. Cover crops do an amazing job of taking carbon from the atmosphere, putting it in the soil, thereby mitigating the effects of climate change.
A key component to adapting your farm to climate change is not only what you're doing on the land, but how you're educating outside groups and your neighbors in your community in what you're doing. So they can get outside, they can see the land, they can see where their food's produced, and they can see how their food can be produced in a way that is actually beneficial to the land itself. And I think that's a very important thing that we do here at Whole Village.
The agricultural industry is universal. It connects us all. We all depend on food, and therefore we're all connected to agriculture. I would strongly encourage everyone to get to know farmers in their community, get to know how their food is raised, and when you're making choices to purchase food, think of the impacts that purchase might actually have on the natural environment.